This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm in Newcastle. I'd like to be joined for the first time by April Hunter. April, first and foremost, how are you?
Hello mate, I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. I think you're the first person to ask me back today, so that's always a good start. Anyway, back in action this weekend, the Ritson Ponce bill, 1,000 fans back as well. You must be really excited.
Oh mate, I'm delighted to be back. My hometown in front of 1,000 fans. Things are getting back to normal. Reality is on the horizon, so fingers crossed. A big win Saturday night and then lots of bigger nights to come.
Let's talk about your opponent. How much have you seen of her? I think she's been in the ring with Savannah Marshall before, I'm right in saying. How much have you seen it, if anything at all?
Yeah, I've seen a few bits of her. I've seen her obviously with Savannah. I've seen a bit of her with Stacey Copeland. I've not really watched her too much because what I have watched, I was like, it's just one of them, isn't it? It's just tough experience. It's a learning fight. Get the win Saturday night and look good doing it.
Is that important to you with all eyes on you, especially with there being a local show and their fans being there as well, not only winning but doing so in style and really stamping yourself on this show?
Yeah, well, this is me 19th fight, amateur and professional combined, so I'm just a baby in the game. I'm learning all the time. So Saturday night is just about me taking what I've been learning in the gym and putting it into action Saturday night. I'm not going in there to prove a point to anybody, but to show what I've been learning in the gym, and if that comes off, then I'll be coming away happy.
Before we come on to your professional career and all of that and a bit more about this fight, I wanted to go back, this is the first time we've had you on, about your road into boxing, because you've always been sporting. I think you were on Newcastle's books, but for an injury. Tell me about your sporting background and how it ended up being boxing in the end.
Well, when I was 9 years old, I got scouted off GEOFF actually. The England football player pulled me school teacher and says, you're special footballer, puller. And then within 6 months' time, I was on Newcastle Academy and I played for them until I was 15, 16. I done me ACL, and once done me ACL, I've just never played football again. But things were looking bright. I was in the pipeline for a scholarship to America and all things were lined up. But I wouldn't be boxing, so I'm just delighted. Boxing gives us that fire in my belly. I miss football, but I wouldn't risk it for the injury, and I'll just watch it now.
Just to go back to that, because I'm sure as a kid you had some understanding of what it's like for Jeff Hurst to pull you aside, but not a full understanding. What's that like for your family at that time when a legend of the English game comes to one side and says there's serious talent there? That must have been incredible.
Well, it was, believe it or not, my old school teacher, you might watch this, he was called Mr. Stevenson. He pulled my mum and we just started playing football. Went from there. He was at he come to John Spence. We were I think we were primary school at the time. We were there for like a tournament. So I didn't know it until now, and I look back and think that's quite good. That. So I've always been dead sporty though. I'm just good at sporty stuff. So when I took to boxing, I started boxing when I was 21, 26 now. So 4 or 5 years, and here I am. So just think where the next 4 or 5 years can take us.
Being from the northeast, I can completely see where the football side came from. But boxing at 21, what made you first lace up the gloves and go into the gym and try that out?
Yeah, I was overweight. I was really heavy. I was a bit down, a bit depressed. Done my knee. I was thinking, what am I going to do in my life? I thought I was going to play football, and I just wanted to lose weight and fell in love with it. And I literally went from there.
And here we are now. Let's talk about your pro career. You're managed by Tony Bellew now, first and foremost. How did that come about? How did that sort of link up come to be? You're now in Liverpool as well now?
Yeah, I'm down in Liverpool. I made the move just to get away from all distractions of home and to take it seriously. And I moved down to Liverpool and I'm training out at Rotunda, and that's where Tony Bellew boxes as an amateur. And my coach Joseph McNally and Declan O'Rourke and the team we've got down there, they're all close knit. And it was my coach, Joseph McNally, that put us on to Tony Bellew, and that's how that happened.
Do you feel more comfortable with someone like Tony in your corner now that the big opportunities are going to come? He's obviously got the links to Matchroom and he opened those doors for you. Do you feel like you've got a bright future ahead with that sort of management?
Yeah, I feel like Tony knows the right people, and he's a good person. He's a good person to have on side, and I'll be pressuring him for many more opportunities, put it that way.
No, your last fight, not too long ago, was in Barcelona. You told me off camera that you sort of went out there on your own, took a fight, 4-round fight. I think it was a majority decision in the end. What was that experience like of just accepting a phone call and sort of heading out there? I think it was just you and Savannah Marshall and having that fight out in Barcelona.
Yeah, if you get a chance to speak to Savannah, she'll tell you herself. It was like a girls' holiday. It was just, the full thing was just thrown together. I got a phone call 10 days. Cut weight, made weight. I got told an hour before the weigh-in I had to be championship weight. I was having a hot bath an hour before the weigh-in. I was stood on the scales, pins and needles in my head, and then my old amateur coach was meant to be in my corner because Joseph was in Russia with Liam Smith. And then we got an email off the boxing board saying, oh, they're not licensed to be in your corner. So then last minute we run about, oh, well, who can do my corner? Luckily, Steffi Bull was there, he stepped in. And it was just like thrown up. But I didn't have enough hand wraps, so the referee was doing my hands. I was thinking, please sign my hands off. I think I threw a jab with Steffi the first time I've ever been on the pads. I missed. It was just one of them. There's one of them nights where it was just thrown together. But I think that's just the kind of character I am. If you tell us I can fight, I want to fight. I want to be busy, and I don't think many fighters would have took that fight, but without the coach, yeah, but I did.
That's got to be of great benefit, having that happen so early in your career, going through all these things and different things falling apart, and it's all not quite perfect. You must be happy to just get all of that out the way early on and learn from all that as well.
Yeah, well, I think in my 26 years living, I've had quite a lot of adversity in life, so I kind of deal with it all in my stride, and it's just one of them things. I just keep growing and keep learning from it, and I'm glad that fight went how it went, because I'll take a lot away from it, and Saturday night I get to show me true colours.
Someone you mentioned a couple of times in this interview, Savannah Marshall, a North East world champion, brilliant fighter as well. How do you sum up her influence and your friendship, and I've seen you guys sparring together and all sorts of things. How do you sum up Savannah Marshall's influence?
Massive, like a massive influence. Probably one of the biggest influences in my boxing career, apart from my coach. Like, just the advice, and whenever I've had a problem, I'll ring Savannah. It's like she's like my boxing soundboard, and she's been there, she's done it, and I've just got so much respect and admiration for her. It's unbelievable.
Savannah is ultimately looking at eventually, when Clarissa Shields returns to boxing, having that huge fight, a rerun of their amateur fight. Do you think Savannah Marshall's got the beating of Clarissa Shields? How do you see that fight going?
I think Savannah Marshall stops Clarissa Shields. Honest to God, I think she's too big, she's too strong, and it's a great fight. Clarissa's a great fighter. She's got super fast hands, punching combinations. But I just think she's just a heavy-handed person, and she's amazing with that timing's unreal. I think she's the best female boxer on the planet.
With the women's game, Eddie Hearn said it before, if you've got the talent and you start to string together a few wins, because there's not quite the depth yet in some divisions, and there's not as many belts. You were talking before about not being able to fight for the British, for example. You never actually, if you keep winning that far away from a world title shot, is it something you've thought about that in the next couple of years that could genuinely be realistic?
Next few years, the next 12 to 18 months, mate. Like, seriously, if things keep going how they're going, and I just keep learning, get me to 10 fights, and I'm really ready to take a step up and take them opportunities. Like, I've had Rick Ramos tweeting us on Twitter yesterday about his other girls, Summer Lynn or something, and I just tweeted him back saying, don't talk to me about Summer Lynn, I want to talk about Jessica McCaskill, and it's been a bit back and forwards, but it's all playful banter. There's no bitterness there from me, but that is 100% a fight I'll be wanting down the line, and if we've got to go through Summer Lynn to get that, then fair enough.
April, I want to ask you about North East boxing as well as yourself on the spill. Lewis Ritson headline, and Joe Law's looking to get back to winnerways. We've got Cyrus Pattinson turning over. It's such an exciting time for North East boxing. We even got the McCormicks in the amateurs as well. Could this be a golden time for this region for boxing?
The North East takeover, unbelievable, mate. Like if Lewis Ritson wins this fight and we go to St James's Park and we get the opportunity to be on that, wow, just wow. You can't even put it into words, can you? And then you've got to think, in the future, you've got to think about Pat and Luke turning over and how incredible Pat is, what a talent he is and what he can add to the game. And you've got loads of other talent as well, turning over young Georgia O'Connor, GB female. The pool is just, it's great up here, it really is.
Do you think the North East got a good chance at a gold medal this summer?
100%. I think Pat will win gold, definitely. Hopefully Luke does as well, but I think Pat's a golden boy.
April, I'm not going to keep you too much longer, so I'll leave the final word to you. For everyone that's bought tickets and will be watching you from home as well, send you nice messages of support, everything like that. What would you like to say to them ahead of Saturday night?
Thank you very much for the support and a good win Saturday night. That's what I intend, so happy days.
April, thank you very much, all the best.